from AppDev team, and today in this tutorial we're going to learn what are Flutter widgets, and also we're going to learn about the basic how the basic project which you get when you create a basic Flutter project, and the counter application which you get. Basically we're going to understand what it does, and also we're going to start with the demo app which we are creating. So let's get started. So first of all, what are Flutter widgets? Basically Flutter widgets are the hero of this Flutter app. So everything in our Flutter app is going to be a widget. You can think of Flutter widgets as components which make up the app. The first screen which you see on the Flutter, the screen which you see is also a kind of a widget, is also a widget. And then any component that you see inside of in the Flutter UI is also a widget. So any buttons that you see is a widget, any text field input that you see is a widget, any floating action button that you see is a widget. So let me show you a picture which would give you much more idea. So like if you see this is the UI of the basic Flutter demo app which gets created when you press Flutter new project, enter Flutter new project. And so basically this is the scaffolding. This is the white screen which you see, the white background screen, basic scaffolding, and it contains 3 children. So any of our widgets can contain basically children, and these children have other widgets. So it contains an app bar widget, and the body contains a center layout widget, and it also contains a floating action button. This is the floating action button, and then the app bar contains a child in the title property, which is the text widget, and here we can pass the text. So this is the Flutter demo homepage, which is the text widget. In the center layout widget, we can see that there is a child, and this is a column widget. This is also kind of a layout widget which helps you like arranging all these widgets. It contains 2 children, a text message which you see, you have pushed the button this many times, and a text counter. The floating action button also contains another widget which is this icon, the plus icon. Okay, so now that you have an idea of like how widgets work, let me show you one more tool, which a design tool. So basically this would help you get an idea about these widgets and how like. So basically like here you can see this is the screen, and it contains an app bar. So this is the scaffolding. It contains an app bar, under it and a bottom navigation bar which contains a column widget, and it contains 2 containers. So these are the 2 containers. So this is the whole column widget, and these are the containers. So these containers contain another column widget. So this can have other further childs, and this is the other container which contains a row widget which contains other childs and an icon button. So like you can get an idea of how widgets are stacked. Okay, so now let's get started with the basic counter app which we see. So you basically get, I have removed all the comments which you get, and this is basically this is the basic code which you get when you create your basic Flutter app. So first of all, first we need to know what are stateless widgets and what are stateful widgets. So stateless widgets are widgets that don't change their internal state during the lifetime of the app. So basically they're going to stay constant in the UI, which could be like text widget, icon, or an image. And stateful widgets, on the other hand, these can change during the app's life cycle. So basically this can be something of sorts like the counter's text value which you see, it gets changed. Okay, so now let's try and understand what code we have written. Okay, so first of all what we are doing is we are importing this material.art, which is basically the UI library, and this is the main function, and this is the entry point of our Flutter app. Okay, and the run app function initializes this app and starts the framework. And then basically what we have created is, this is my app. This is a stateless widget. Okay, and this is the whole widget, and it is going to represent our basic structure of our app. And inside the build method, we see that it is returning a material app. this is the root widget which will contain all other widgets, and it has a home, it has set the home property as my home page. So basically my home page is a widget which will contain all the other widgets. So basically what we have done is we have created a root widget, and the home screen of this widget is the my home page, and the my home page is going to contain the app bar and all the other counters and text. Okay, now my home page is a stateful widget. So basically my home page will change as the content changes. So basically when you click the button, the data is going to change and it's going to get reflected. So it's a stateful widget. Now what we can see is that I have set an counter basically, and what I've done is I created the state for this whole home page. So basically if the counter value changes, the state changes. And also what I've done is I've created a increment counter function. So basically it is going to change the state of the widget. And if you can see, like this is the method, like it is going to call set state. What we do with set state is that we can change the state or any data of the whole app widget. So basically whenever the counter changes, I'm going to say that the state of my whole widget has changed. Okay, so now what we can basically see is that this whole my homepage widget is returning a scaffold. So scaffold was the basic white screen that you see, which contains the app bar, and the title is the counter app. And the scaffold also has a property of the body, which has the center layout widget, which contains a child, which is the column, and this is basically we have given the alignment, and which contains another these two other widgets, which are like two text widgets, the counter value and the like you can give dynamic string using this, like Sakshi would have covered this, and you can assign the style of the text widget as well. And also like we have the floating action button, and we can give this a function on pressed function, basically whenever it is handling gestures. So basically whenever I am pressing on the icon, it is running increment counter. And what was increment counter? Increment counter was the function which is changing the state of the widget, which is that it is incrementing this counter variable, and which would get reflected over here. Okay, and it also has another child, which is the icon widget, and I can change this as well. Like if I change this and add search, and this would be reflected in my app. So yeah, so here you can see from the plus symbol it has changed to a, like you can say, the search symbol, the search icon. Okay, yeah, so this was the basically the code for the you can get a basic idea of like what the counter app is. And now let's get started with what we need to build in this workshop. Basically the demo app which we are building, which contains the basically the images and links of various places in our campus. Okay, hi, so yeah, let's start building our demo app. So first of all, what our home screen should be, it should be a scaffold. It should be a white screen, and it should have then for the app bar I need an app bar, and I want my text to be demo app. This is the cool function of Flutter, which is the hot reload function. Basically you don't need to set up the app again. If you just press Ctrl S, it will reload. And then what I want to do is, in the body property, I just want to add is a center widget layout. So basically let's just like think that our whole of our other widgets will be like center line. So like let me just have it, and then what I'll add is basically I want center okay, and in this center widget what I want to give is I want to give another child. So let me add child. Okay, and in this child what I want to create is I want to have a button. So this is another widget, elevated button. Okay, so this is the on press function. So if I change it, like what do I want to do when the button is pressed? So currently I don't want to do anything. And I want to pass it a child as well. I'll just pass it a text widget, which is text, which would be basically just a text. Yeah. So like, I just need to add this. Yeah. As you can see, yeah, rest. Yeah, so this is basically we have initialized. What we want to do is in the coming videos what we'll see is like how we can create this whole list view of different, like we'll have different images and then different text as well, and also when we click those images, like we can go to some link, something like that is what we want to build. And also in the coming videos what we'll see is like how we can change the theme, or what we can do with this theme data widget. So stay tuned and keep learning. Thank you.